Joining me now is Richard Burnett, the Chief Executive of the Road Haulage Association. Hello to you, Richard Burnett. France saying that some kind of EU-wide protocol is on its way. It's not here yet. And what impact is it having?
Well, at the moment, it's still an evolving situation. We're seeing, those queues in Kent grow. At 11:30, there were probably about 700 trucks in that queue at that point in time. As the day goes on, that queue is going to get larger. Certainly, in terms of inbound into the UK, we're also seeing, I guess, a reduction in the flow in terms of vehicles coming in. Nervousness about European hauliers being stranded or stuck in the UK. So that's also kind of switching volume off. But you're right, there are conversations that are going on between UK government and the French government to try and work through what does that protocol look like, what could this protocol look like, and how can we unlock this situation and get vehicles moving again.
And in terms of what that could mean, talk of potential mass testing, that it may involve lorry drivers having to go through tests to do that. Even if we do manage to get a resolution in the coming hours, what is the knock-on effect of that going to be in terms of clearing this gridlock, which frankly we've been seeing for some time now already?
Yeah, well, look, it may be testing, or it may be a protocol, a set of measures which the French and the EU are comfortable with in terms of how drivers behave while they're over here and how they keep themselves segregated and separated. I think the longer this goes on, the bigger the impact of the bigger issue that we're going to have. In terms of releasing the vehicles from the UK that are currently growing, and this issue of inbound flow. I guess the retail supply chain in the UK is pretty robust. We've done a significant stock build in terms of ambient product ahead of transition, which is a good thing. But the fresh, chilled produce, which has a short shelf life, is certainly going to be challenged and under question if this continues over the next 24, 48 hours. And if it goes beyond that, then we're going to have some serious problems sort of later on.
Yeah, at what point will consumers start to see the effects of this in terms of potential shortages in supermarkets? Are the Christmas supplies already in the country? Is it the post-Christmas period we're talking about?
Yeah, this is absolutely about I guess transition and beyond. In terms of Christmas supplies, like I said, the ambient product is absolutely there, and there's more stock than was required because of transition building. It's that fresh product. I think we'll be okay. We may see some shortages of that fresh product over the next few days, depending on whether or not we see vehicles coming into the UK, and again we're assessing and understanding that on a daily basis at the moment. But beyond that, yes, if the fresh supply chain starts to be delayed, then we could well see problems into the following week and certainly into the transition period. But we would hope that we get a resolution to this pretty quickly, and governments are certainly reassuring us they're working hard to find those solutions now.
In the meantime, as you said, some 700 lorries backed up. What are the conditions like for drivers? What can they do? What facilities are there for them as they wait to get moving or not?
I guess it really depends on the scale and size of how big this queue grows. As to what those conditions are. Drivers, they live in a fairly isolated sort of place anyway, because they're living within their cabs. They have their food and rations with them, but that's going to run out if they're there for any long period of time. Certainly, in terms of toilet facilities, we need to make sure the welfare of these drivers is at the forefront. That they have got facilities to use. We understand that if this is going to go over a longer period of time, then Marston is likely to be enacted in terms of a larger lorry park where more facilities can be put in place, and that welfare can be provided, including medical support if required. But at the moment it's a growing, evolving situation, and we'll have to stay pretty close to it to understand what this looks like over the coming days.
What kind of alternative routes potentially are being explored?
When you talk about, you mean alternative routes to get back to Europe?
Yeah.
Well, I guess there are other crossings, that can be taken. For instance, Harwich to Holland,
Mm.
but there's a capacity issue with many of these other crossings. You won't be able to get another booking on other ferries until probably January. That's the earliest. So the short straits is it's the quickest, it's the most critical, it's the highest volume route, and so really the alternatives outside of the short straits are pretty limited at this point in time.
OK, Richard Burnett, we will keep monitoring that situation